it's definitely a new season. There's a new reason behind it too. I mean, the NCAA tournament is the ultimate goal. To go after national, you got to be in that tournament.
Under a minute left in regulation. Mavericks have it. Can they get a look at the net? Here we go. Paramas! And he scores! Paramas drifting backwards away from the net. Okay, here we go. 2-on-2. Here's Sauter and on goal. He scores! Lucas Sauter, a short-handed goal. He was the guy that got the other goal. Look at center ice. Here come the Bulldogs. Mavericks, great poke check right there. Here we go, and on goal, Mavericks with the short-handed look, and they score! And in the slot, Mavericks trying to get it right there, but Haskins, there's a drive, and there's a goal for Minnesota State. The Mavericks pick that up and get it right there. Or that was Morton right on. Morton now gets it out of the circle. Mavericks get it back, and that is a goal. Minnesota State has won the opening game of the playoffs.
Despite being outshot last night 33-21, it was the Mavericks on a second period power play goal by Lucas Sauter, and they get game one of the best of three series to open up the 2024 track to the Mason Cup. Mavericks over Northern Michigan last night. Don Westfall here with you. I'll be joined by Andy Hedlund for tonight's game, and here you see the highlights from an evening ago here where Jordan Power got his first goal of the season. It was 1-0 after one. There's the goal by Sauter late in period number 2. Mavericks led 2-0. Perbix would come right back here early in the third, doesn't score, but Van Unen gets the goal. That made it 2-1, and at that point the Mavericks just continued to play rather strong defensively. Tracy made some big saves, and he got the win in nets last night for the Mavericks. For Tracy, 32 saves on the night, and he was really good in the second period of play when the Wildcats actually outshot the Mavericks by a margin of 15-2. In fact, with a late flurry in the second, in fact, went post to post at one time to make some big saves and keep the Mavericks, give them the lead. And again, despite giving up the one goal early in the third, it was Tracy with the effort last night in the nets. He was, of course, one of our 3 stars. He gets the win, and the Mavericks propelled to the 2-1 win, looking to close out the sweep and the series win tonight in Game 2. Other action last night in the CCHA, and again, the drive for the Mason Cup. Bemidji State, they were pushed to the limit. In fact, Ferris State led most of the game. Beavers got a late goal in the third to tie it up, and then just 37 seconds into the extra session, Eric Polkamp got the game winner to give the Beavers the 5-4 win and the 1-0 lead in the series. We'll drop down to the 3 versus 6 seed, Michigan Tech. It was all Tech last night. 5 different scores for the Huskies in their 5-0 win over the Falcons, and Blake Pietla good on all 21 shots that he faced. He got the shutout win for Michigan Tech. And then the, I guess, lone upset as far as seeds go last night, it was Lake State topping St. Thomas by a score of 4-1. That game was tied at 1 up in the Twin Cities, but then the Lakers come back with 3 unanswered to finish out the game, and they get the early 1-0 lead. So seeds number 1, 4, 3, and 7 with the wins to open up play last night, and of course all 4 games going on here. We'll keep you up to date with scores as we move through our contest tonight, but that's what's coming up next. We'll take the break, and then it's Game 2 for Mankato, Minnesota State, and Northern Michigan. Game 2 in the quarterfinal series. Mavericks already up 1-0. Welcome back to downtown Mankato, the Mayo Clinic Health System Event Center. Game 2 tonight between the Mavericks and the Wildcats. Mavericks last night, again, the 2-1 win. Goal in each of the 3 periods. Mavericks with goals by Jordan Power, and then Lucas Sauter ends up with the eventual game winner on a power play tally. And on the other side, Ryland Van Unen got the first and only goal of the evening for the Wildcats just about 5 minutes into the third, but they could get no closer, and the Mavericks, again behind the 32-save effort of Alex Tracy, get the win. Ben Hilas, again the reigning CCHA goalie of the week, and he played rather well last night as well. Andy Hedlund with us for the broadcast tonight, the former Maverick defenseman. And Andy, you played in a few of them yourself over the years. A lot of playoff games, not a lot of opportunities, low scoring, and goalies that stand out big time. It was your quintessential game, and now it's for the Mavericks, as we just talked about with Coach Strand, trying to end somebody's season and end of the senior's career on the other side. This is going to be a hard contest tonight.
Yeah, it's never easy, and the ice gets smaller and smaller this time of year, right? There's not a lot of room to make plays out there, but the Mavericks have ended the Wildcat season the last 2 seasons, and boy, you want to take care of it tonight. You don't want it to go to a 3rd game.
Even more of a reason for some of these Wildcats. They'd like to come out of here with the win. Of course, Andre Gontus and Kalela, they remember last year when they had the 2-0 lead late in the championship game, only to see the Mavericks come back with a couple late goals and then the eventual game winner in overtime by Zach Kranick. Give the Mavericks the conference tournament championship win and the automatic qualifier. Of course, this year in the conference, pretty much only going to be one team going on to the national tournament. You're going to have to win the whole thing this year based on pairwise rankings of the across the conference. And again, just for one upset last night, and as we did an evening ago, we'll do the best we can to bring you the out-of-town scores from the other 3 matchups in the conference. Power with it, he'll carry it into the zone, and his first tally of the season came at a great time in the playoffs. An evening ago as Enns is behind his own net. Bolson for Murr, fires it down toward Wilson, bounced over his stick. Kalela, drop pass here to Kabanoff, who gains the red line and dumps one in. Other stats of note last night, the Mavericks again 1 for 1 on the power play. Both teams just had one opportunity. And of course the Mavericks, as here's a chance for Gontus breaking in. Kalela on the far side. Played down for Gontus. Bouncing puck, he has it low, but it hops right off his stick. We talked about him last night. The career leader in Division I hockey for the NCAA as far as games played and points. Also the leading scorer for this team against the Mavericks. But last night, again, the Mavericks 1 for 1 on the power play, 0 for 1 Northern, and of course there was that power or penalty shot opportunity that the Mavericks unable to convert on as it's tipped in to the bench and out of play for a face-off coming up. Mavericks last night being outshot by the Wildcats 33-21. One other stat of note last night, the Mavericks with 18 blocks last night. I talked to the coach about that before the game. He said, that's good. We need even more tonight. He expects to see more offensive production as far as shots. And he said, last night we got a lot of blocks with the sticks. That's great, but we're going to have to pay a bigger price tonight with blocking shots with the body.
And that's a sign that your boys are into it, right? They're committed. They're willing to give up their body for blocking that shot. It's going to be important tonight. Talked to Grant Patolny earlier today, coach of the Wildcats, and one of his big things is he said that the Mavericks are too skilled. They need to make them play defense as much as possible, and so far this period, the puck's been in this zone majority of the time.
Oh, there's another play up into the bench for the Wildcats. Yeah, last night the Mavericks actually outshot the Wildcats 10-7 in the first period, but period 2, 15-2 as the Mavericks held on. A big surge with the long change. And also going to get, it looks like a penalty. Did see that one, but the Mavericks will get the opportunity. Interference is the call. Derek Berkebile and Rick Nelson, the referees, Andrew Dockin and Nicholas Bradshaw, the linesmen. So the Mavericks with an early opportunity, time that interference call at 2:24. Ryland Van Unen is the player in the box with the penalty. Sauter for Morton. Isley tees one up, but that was saved on the near post. Mavericks fighting for possession behind the net. Grohl digging at it. Now Isley with control for Cook. Sam Morton. Cook at top of the slot, sends one in. Still loose to the side. It's going to be flipped over to the boards. Sauter trying to dig it out through some traffic and does. Cook moves to the slot for Sauter now. Sauter behind the net. Morton looks for an angle. And puck came down, got a quick whistle. The officials blew it right away. The Mavericks unable to convert as the puck actually came out pretty quickly, but Vlasic covered up, and he'll take the face-off in the zone.
Good perimeter movement by the puck there, by the Mavs there. But as we look here for the keys of the game, you know, Coach Strand said they need contribution small lines. At this time of year, Tracy, our goalie, needs to be big and catch him on transition, catch him on the turnover, get going, get the puck going the other way, and attack as fast as possible.
And even on that third one, the transition aspect, the fact is that, again, Northern, obviously, their backs are against the wall. Their season is on the line. They're going to make a push. Maybe at times you take an extra chance or two you wouldn't normally do, and the Mavericks are going to have to find a way to make them pay if they can pick that puck up and do the transition work, because that one is tipped wide out in front. Bolson in the corner. Plays it along the boards. Carabas. Up on top for Moore. Carabas lost the puck as he was bringing it toward the circle. Wilson will just dump it right back into the corner, and Carabas gets there first to the far side. Wilson. 35 seconds left to go in the man advantage. Bolson brings it into the crease area, and Halas finds a way to deny that first attempt, although he might have lost his stick, but pounces on that rebound.
Great patience by Bolson here, just to hang on to it, not throw it away. Defenseman for the Wildcats goes down, and he gets a chance to come right back through the crease and apply some pressure there.
Mavericks will come back with their first penalty unit. So Isley's in for the faceoff with Morton and Grohl, Sauter, and Cook. 29 seconds left off the draw. Mavericks last night lost that battle, but pretty much an even split, 31-29. Wildcats end up winning that battle. Here's a chance for Gontu, shorthanded, score. Mavericks sluggish back at their own defensive blue line, and a really poor time, and that is the last guy you want to have with the puck on the stick on a shorthanded effort as Gontu scores to put Northern up 1-0.
You know, you always are careful as a defenseman when you're on that back foot trying to make a pass, right? Especially through center ice. Power play early in the game can go either way, right? We hope that it goes in our favor. We get some pressure, get some shots, and get the momentum. Unfortunately, a good kill and a shorthanded goal can turn it the other way.
4:08 the time of that goal from Gontus as Power sends it toward the net. Mavericks just a couple seconds left as Van Unen is ready to get out of the box, and he does so. Wildcats with the big momentum, not only killing off that power play for the Mavericks, but coming up with a shorthanded goal on the defensive lapse for the Mavericks. And actually, well, that was more, instead of defense, just a poor time for a turnover. Sent in toward the net and high. Gontus to the far side. Michael Van Unen. Long lead pass for Kalila is tipped away. Zinger dumps it into the zone, and here comes Morton ahead for Isley. Isley trying to work around a defender, and does. Brings it to the top of the crease. Fans looking for a call, but there were probably a couple calls both sides last night that could have been made and might have been made during the playoffs. But again, just 3 minors called and only 2 in the books because one was taken care of on the penalty shot.
You know what I like so far is Isley takes the puck there tonight. Bolson did the shift before, taking that puck to the hard places, getting into the blue paint. Mavericks going to have to keep that up all night and apply that pressure.
Jakob Peterson up on top and over the line is Gustav Nyberg unable to hold. Mark Snoren sends it in. Gallagher toward the net, but Skukinski unable to make a tip. Grohl will carry into the zone and ridden out along the boards. Michael Messick. Grohl trailing, able to make a play. Now Sauter unable to get there in time. Banto Marks Norn flips one into the zone. Morton with the lead pass for Grohl. Played in for Souter, but it's just at the line, tipped back in. Halas is out to make a play. Off the boards, turned around there by Stender. Grohl one more time, drops one with Morton, and those guys probably need to think about getting off the ice. Played behind the net for Riley Funk. Ryland Van Unen, who had the goal last night for Northern, brings it to the faceoff circle, shot wide. Persbix tries to leave one out in front. Mavericks there to clear up, and they come out 3-on-3 into the zone. Morvik to a trailer, but that's broken up with the stick of Funk on the play. Steinmetz looking to be aggressive here. Created a turnover opportunity. It's played out, but Kranick is right there. Karabas. Near side Wheeler. Flip one into the zone with 12.5 left to go in the first. Askins digging at it, sandwiched by a couple of Wildcats. Wheeler toward the net and wide. Penalty coming up. Touched by the Wildcats, and the Mavericks will go right back on another interference call. Hopefully this one goes better for them, because again, just a few moments ago, Gontus, a shorthanded goal, made it 1-0.
Yeah, kind of an unnecessary penalty here coming out of the D zone, right? Not right in the play. You know, players skating up. I think emotions and aggression got the best of Peterson there. But the Mavericks had great puck movement, right? They got the puck around the perimeter, need to find some more angles to the front of the net. You can see Morton's trying to get open here and calling for the puck, so hopefully they can find him a little bit more puck control and better decisions this time around.
Mavericks had come into the game 4th in the conference on the power play, right around 20%, a little over that, but they that shorthanded tally that they gave up, that's their 4th of the season. Penalty kill on the other side for Northern Michigan. Not one of their stronger points, even despite their surge in recent games. They came in 7th in the conference. A kill percentage of only 75.5 as Gontus forcing the issue, trying to feed Pop out in front. Olsen gets turned around, and Murr will just reset behind his own net. Garabas ahead for Morvik. Garabas will take it into the corner. Unable to feed the point. It's played now by Halas behind the net. Off to Christoph Pop, who sends one down, and is played maybe off the linesman down there. Kalela played all the way back as the Wildcats content to just take some time off the clock. Down to 1:05 left to go in the power play. Gets past Tracy. Souter with Cook. Morton ahead now. Souter will bring it into the zone. Drop pass with Morton at the goal line and behind the net. To the far circle, gets the return feed. Now Cook in the slot. Morton looks for an angle that played off a body into the corner. And Unen is out of the zone at least. Cook right at the line, able to turn it around quickly. And Isley. Souter and Van Unen now roll behind the net. Morton looking for an angle. Souter between the circles has it knocked away from him. Cook has to get there ahead of Kuzinski, and then Souter dumps one in with 10 seconds left on a power play that doesn't really generate a whole lot. Peterson is up with the door open, and we are back at full strength hockey as Kalela along the boards, able to pick up an errant pass. Haskins will carry for the Mavericks, gains the line and dumps one in. 10-minute mark is gone. 2-2 are shots on goal, but it's a 1-0 shorthanded tally, putting Northern Michigan up 1-0.
It's such an interesting thing how a failed power play will lose you the momentum. And sometimes early in the game, you might rather be on the penalty kill. Just get everybody going. You can play a little sloppier, just get pucks out, play your position, and the power play has to be precise. And you feel that little bit of shift here for the Wildcats.
Josh Singer, rink wide. Gontus loses the puck. It's picked up by Sykos. Loose puck now. Gontus will try to feed Kalela, who's in the zone early. That's an offside, and that's our first time out of the game. 9.5 left to go in the first period for Mankato. Game 2, and it's Northern Michigan on top of the Mavericks, 1-0. Andre Gontus with the shorthanded goal at 4:08. And that is the only tally of the first 10+ minutes. And it's Northern with their backs to the wall here, facing elimination tonight. But they have the early 1-0 lead. Mavericks already 0 for 2 on the power play after being 1 for 1 last night as well. So a few early numbers definitely not going the Mavericks' way. They find themselves just trailing by the single tally. Wheeler trying to work it away from Gontus. Wilson now controlling for the Mavericks. Plays one ahead to Bolson, but that'll be an icing call. And we'll bring the faceoff back in the Maverick zone.
The other thing that a couple early power plays or penalty kill do to a team is that you don't always get all the same personnel into the game, right? A normal 5-on-5 at this time of the game, everybody's got out there, everybody's got a shift or two, and they got their legs going. It's always interesting when you start with special teams so early in the game that some guys find themselves on the bench and they're just getting into the game, you know, at the 9-10 minute mark.
Kalela fans on attempt to try to weave through some traffic with the shot. Wilson carries. Played into the zone now with Isley. Dug out by Isaac Bandu. Kalela tips one out of the zone. Played near side Isley. Swept in. Palas is out. Plays it away from Roll on the play. Gontus with it. Ahead for Kalela, who's in the zone now with Zinger. Zinger trying to work past Murr. Tracy hugged the post on the play. Centering pass is cleared, and now the Mavericks with Grohl ahead for Morton. Souter on the far side. Souter gets past one. Here's Murr. And then Murr really didn't have an angle, so the Mavericks came in with numbers but unable to get a shot off. Played up high, and Halas has the glove save with 8:17 left in the first.
Yeah, I'm guessing that Lucas would like to have that puck back and maybe just step to the middle and let a shot go. But, you know, the Wildcats have done a good job of having their D in front of the net, kind of pushing guys out, making sure their goalie can see it. And when he can't, they're getting in the way of the shots so far. And as you alluded to earlier, the Mavs need to block more shots. It might have been the same conversation in the opposite locker room before this one.
Mavericks will bring out the Steinmetz line between Karabas and Moravec. And we're going to redo the face-off. Andy, I think we almost redid about half of them last night. It was just, I don't know what the deal was, but
seems to be some shift in the rules on how they're handling it nowadays.
Drop it and let's move on, and more discussion.
Well, I've been coaching U10 hockey all year. They bounce it like a basketball and they get out of there right away. I'll tell you that much.
Well, yeah, more effort put into it than one would think last night, that's for sure. Hopefully it's the only time we're doing it tonight. As Steinmetz comes in, Bellini trailing sends one wide on the near side. Moravec back to Sender with the shot that's kicked out by Halas. Steinmetz near side for Stender, trying to find some traffic again out in front, but Halas makes that save. Ends. Karabas brings it from out behind the net. Score! Karabas brings one out. You'll see it here on the replay. A defensive miscue here. Ends. Then Karabas just brings out Halas, not ready for it. He thought it was going to go behind the two. So both teams with miscues creating offense, and we're tied at 1.
Well, and Halas has the paddle down. He's got his full stick down there covering 5-hole. Karabas finds just enough to jam it home and probably just willed it through into the net. So good for him. Way to get the Mavs going. This crowd's been kind of waiting for something to cheer about here for the first 12 and a half minutes.
Grant Petolny with the discussion.
As he likes to do.
Yes, is prone to do. We saw that during the regular season matchup back at the end of January.
Grant was a teammate of mine in the minors and a good friend. He probably still owes me some card money that he lost to me. But he's known for some long conversations and, you know, a good coach, and he really likes to think the game through. So,
Mike, we're looking down and there's trying to figure out what's going on with the discussion. Now you see on the screen Luke Strand, and it's like, what is the delay? I'd be interested to find out even what was the nature of the discussion because it was all clean.
Yeah, I don't think it came that close to the blue line for an offsides. I mean, there wasn't anything malicious down the corner. It was a turnover by the defenseman for the Wildcats, and Karabas was waiting there for it.
My goodness, but well, we're back to action here. Karabas with the goal. Picks up his 9th of the season.
His 9th goal of the season, number 28, Brian Karabas.
So Karabas again at 12-15, unassisted. And I think also important, Andy, for the Mavericks, obviously they realized the magnitude of the game and they gave up a shorthanded tally. They were rather quickly, it took a few minutes, but they were able to negate that one right away and get it back to an equal game.
Yeah, and you know what I like when you get a guy like Karabas scoring a goal like that, you get to come right back with your top line. You got Morton, you got Sauter out there, and you can get right back on the attack, hopefully, if they get this puck moving the other direction.
Oh, that one went off the official on the far side as Mark Snorm took the shot that caught nothing but air through the crease. At the line, it's held. And Tracy makes that save. Follow up, and Tracy's good on that one as well, up into the net. But that was onside. And a couple of big saves there by Tracy.
I think we would have spent a couple of minutes looking at that, though, if it would have gone in the net, because that is a darn close puck.
Close, yes.
Right?
But you agreed? You felt it was onside?
I'm not agreeing with you yet. I don't. My eyes don't work as quickly as yours.
Oh yeah,
I'd have to see it again.
These eyes are gold. They're classic. That's why I'm wearing the spec. Only 1.5, however.
I probably see a little too much purple and gold in my eyes. So I looked a little offside.
Face-off won by the Wildcats, and that's blocked out in front. Pop with it, and then another big save. It's under Tracy, as digging away at it down there was Eddie. Wow.
You know, I think we're lucky there that Eddie kind of shoots it back against the grain and fans on it just a bit. Doesn't catch it as clean as he wants because he has this whole strong side. Tracy comes over, does the best he can, and we got some D helping out here to make sure that doesn't go anywhere.
That's a big save right there. And Tracy, I don't know if he really knew for sure he had it under, but he was not moving. He had it trapped underneath as Eddie dug at it a couple of times, but we're still tied at 1. Mavericks with Wilson. That pass broken up. Kobanoff back the other way at the line. Wildcats can't dump it in as they would have been offside, so Jordan Power off the glass and out to Wilson. Bounces away from him. Sent in by Boucher. Wildcats have not cleared, now they do, but the Mavericks time to gather it up with Bellini. 6:15 left to go in the first. Power to the far side, Carabas. Played it in toward Steinmetz on the tip attempt. It's wide. Gontus gathers it up. Gets a return feed from Bandu, and he'll carry through neutral ice. Andre Gontus tries to bring it out in front on a play for Zinger. Kalela digging at it as well. Mavericks will bring it out of the zone. Morvex after it with Gallagher as it's flipped up into the crowd. Gallagher, as we mentioned last night, one of the finalists in the conference. An award awarded to the defensive defenseman. Would you have been a candidate for that, Andy Hedlund?
I don't know.
It's a rather new award, I think. I've heard
great.
of Defenseman of the Year, but a defensive defenseman.
Defensive defenseman. Now, I played in the era where it was hook, hold, all that good stuff. So
well,
a lot of us, you either had the skill or you didn't. I think I've said it before, but you know, as Jutting and Bros and Means and Bluey used to say, we'd have a engineer and a plumber on each line. So I played with Ben Christopherson, Joe Bourne, Steve Johns, the guys who could carry the puck, and then us plumbers would hack and whack the rest of the game.
Well, you talk about the fact Morton, she's trying to find some room behind the net. I don't want to deter the play, but Morton still digging at it. Now Souders in at it. One more shot by Morton that's up high over a lot of traffic. Cook tries to break in and hold, and does. Souder to the point. Cook sends one toward the net, and there's Grohl for a tip. It's wide, but a good look for the Mavericks as they still hold the zone with Morton now in the corner. Back to Murr. Play down, but the Mavericks actually are in the midst of breaking things up. Here comes Wilson on a turnover, and they're going to say that one is offside. It's Grohl had not gotten out. You talk about the fact when you played, it wasn't so much away from the hook and the hold and the grab. And is that why we're still on career Maverick mark as far as number of penalties?
I walked by it on my way. I do every time I come, and I'm holding the bottom spot. And it's funny how many times you complained with the referee to not get a penalty, where now I want him to go back and add a couple that I deserve.
Why? Too short of 100. You have 98 career penalties. You did try hard enough.
Can I get one from up here?
You could. I don't think. Yeah, we could do some type of unsportsmanlike conduct. I don't think Coach Strand would like it as Persbix and Wilson kind of tied up on the play, but you probably, not till after your career you realize you were too short of a century mark, did you?
Who knew?
Who knew? But yeah, still in an honored position in that Maverick Honor of Fame there, the ring of all the career and season marks.
Funny how that works.
Have you shown your kids the name up there?
I have. And they were embarrassed.
I was going to ask if they were impressed, but and then Wilson gets tripped right out of the faceoff, and the Mavericks will go on another power play, their third. Time of this penalty at 15:20.
Yeah, just this is the type of call that we see nowadays, right? It doesn't matter if a guy did it intentionally; it sticks in there. Guy's going to trip over it, lose possession. They call it every time, and a simple play.
Yeah, you're always responsible for the stick, so even if it was inadvertent, Van Noonen pleading his case, but he's off on the tripping call in the Mavericks. Let's see if they can take advantage of this power play. Haven't really done much with the first two looks, and in fact, gave up the shorthanded tally to Gontus on the first go-around.
I know I'm not going on a limb here, but I got Morton for one on this power play. I mean, that's the guy you'd pick, but he's looked like he wanted the puck. He looks like he's trying to will the puck into the net. He just hasn't got the clean lane.
Here comes Pop with the shorthanded tally. He's got Gontus coming, and Tracy makes that first save, and then the rebound cleared away, and the Mavericks will try to create a rush up the ice, at least to cleanly gain the zone. So, yeah, your guess of Morton, he's top 10 in the country as far as power play goals with 7 on the season. Cook. Far side. Cook one more time. Top of the slot. Morton looks for the angle, but Halas is there to make that play. I think I had my numbers inadvertent. Yeah, he's actually 7th in the country, but he has 9 power play goals on the season. 22, of course, overall for the senior out of Colorado.
That one he gets a clean look, but it's almost too clean, right?
Yeah.
You got Halas who can see it all the way, can come out of his crease a bit, just cut down that angle.
Mentioned last night Morton playing in his career game number 100 for the Mavericks. This draw the Mavericks will get with Cook to the near side. Sauter will have to play it off the dasher. Picked up by the Wildcats and cleared all the way down with 1:10 just about on the mark. Left to go here in the man advantage. Cook for Isley. Bolson trying to center one, but it's played back to the point, not out as Mavericks get there just in time. Moravec with the rebound, played out in front. Bolson can't get to the puck in time and swept down by Kalela. Murr with 45 seconds left to go. Carabas for Wilson. Moravec in the corner. Carabas and ends. Now Peterson steps into the play with Wilson and Moravec as well. Wildcats get it out of there, and it's sent down by Eddie, and the Mavericks will regroup maybe with time for one last rush up the ice. Inside 3 minutes left to go in the first. Tied at 1. Carabas still has it, brings it through the slot. Wilson with a low angle, and that one is up high. Played off the glass. Murr one more time. And Unin left, ready to get back on the ice, and does. So we're 5-on-5 as Carabas sends it out in front. Loose puck that Bolson unable to cleanly gather. It was a play not intended for him, so by the time he got to the puck, he just didn't have enough real estate to generate a shot. Michael Van Unen with Hastings on him. Played out to center ice. Riley Funkin, and it's played in by Perbix. Hillman will get there first. Off the glass for Kranick. Drops it out to center ice. Maverick fans would have wanted maybe to see another penalty, but I got a feeling when you've already been called 3 times, I have a strong inkling the next penalty is going to go against the guys in yellow tonight. Hopefully I'm wrong, but Perbix has it. Down to the goal line. Kranick will pick up a loose puck and carry. Funk will catch up to it and play it into the zone. Tracy guides it away from one of the Wildcats. Michael Messick back to the point. That shot gets blocked out in front by Skukinski, who from his knees is able to generate a shot. Out to center ice. Sauter for Grohl. Sauter a little bit slow to get up from that hit at the line. Again, he missed Saturday night's game last weekend after being hurt. We talked to the coach about that last night. And both he and a few other guys, and Andy, you know, it's like this time of year, get a little dinged up, but more than half the lineup probably has some type of ailment going on this deep into a season.
Oh, exactly. There's some Advil and some ice bags after every game, no question about it. These guys at this time of year, you know, lingering injuries, they don't go away. You battle through them, you push on, and you know, let the blood flow and the adrenaline take over once the puck drops.
Murr, who is a candidate for the Rookie of the Year in the conference, able to help clear that one out. 35 seconds left in the period as it's dumped ahead for Pop. Taken into the corner by Connor Eddy. Eddy's still with it. Cook now behind the net. Pop. Whose puck picked up by Carabas, and he'll bring the Mavericks out of the zone. Played ahead, Connor Eddy. Pop dumps one into the corner. Bellini has it. He'll just trap it along the boards to take out the remaining seconds of the period, and that's where we'll end things at. Both goals unassisted. Gontu shorthanded at 4:08, and then Carabas off a turnover at 12:15, and one period is in the books. It's tied at 1 between the Mavericks and Wildcats. And when we come back on the break, Andy will be with Brian Carabas.
After the first period, we have the Mavericks and the Wildcats tied at 1. I'm here with Brian Carabas. Brian, tell me about the start of the game. How was that? Was it tough for you guys to get the start you wanted, start with the PP so early in the game like that?
Sometimes it is, but I think it's just about being ready. I thought last night we played a lot more simple and a lot harder, a lot faster. And not that we aren't doing it tonight, but I think we can just kind of simplify it down a little bit more and just keep working.
Okay. Tell us about your goal, Brian. Looked like a bit just of a turnover. Did you just see the puck and quick attack? Or?
Yeah, the D spread out there, and I kind of heard the other D calling for a bump, and I knew there was pressure coming down the other side, so I just decided to try to take away the best option and bring it to the net.
Could you feel the momentum shift on the bench? I mean, it felt like in the building everybody's waiting to cheer. The boys respond pretty well to that.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I've always said it. We have unbelievable fans, best in college hockey, and you know they stick with us through everything. And I'm just happy we could tie it up for a second.
Wonderful. Well, thanks, Brian. I'll let you get back to the locker room with the boys. You're watching Maverick Hockey here on FloHockey.
Thanks. Appreciate it, guys.
Welcome back to Mankato. We'll spend a few moments right now with Maverick head coach Luke Strand coming off of last night's contest. Coach, a game that I really thought was kind of played at a typical playoff level. Not a lot of scoring, not a lot of open ice, not a lot of really high-quality chances, some really good goaltending on either side. And in the end, you guys get the extra goal with the power play tally, and you hold on for the big 2-1 win.
Yeah, I think when you're going to have to be comfortable in a close game. There's going to be a lot of blind and scrambly moments around the net that you got to check boxes and take away sticks and eliminate people. All of those things for me appeared in the game. I thought we kind of managed pucks. We put a lot behind them. We tipped and chipped. We got back. We suffocated at times. And then I thought, maybe our best job of coming back with a wedge and getting the third guy back.
Second period, obviously they had a big disparity in terms of shots on goal, and at the end, I thought Tracy played rather well last night. I really thought late in that second period that he really stood out.
Well, he selfishly probably won us the game at the 56-second mark left in the period when he stopped Funk by himself on a goal line pass out. They did push to their credit. I thought we had a bend, not break. I didn't think we shot as often as we could have. I thought we got caught up in maybe defending too long and then not being able to get down in pressuring and keeping some numbers on them. So a little combination of both. But Trace was excellent in that when you need someone to stand tall, that's the time.
Tonight's matchup, I've been told by a number of coaches over the years, what you guys are going to attempt to do tonight is truly one of the toughest things to do in college hockey. End someone's season, and for a few guys, end someone's career. You are in for a tussle tonight.
No question. It's always the hardest game, mentally, physically. They don't want to let go. We have to kind of make them, put them on the verge of that and then see if they will. See if they can put some risk in their game and you take advantage of it. See if they can try to play catch up or even stay close and put the pressure back on them if they make a mistake type setting. So we need to have a little freedom in our game about what we want to do. See if we can't capitalize on maybe a mistake of theirs, and at the same time, let's just work really hard here and play for the 0 round on our side.
That is Maverick head coach Luke Strand.
Hey Maverick fans, and welcome back to the segment Mavs Off the Ice. I'm your host, Kenzie Schmidt, and today I am here with number 4, Brett Morvag. What is your go-to coffee order on a game day?
I actually do not drink coffee.
Do you have a special drink that you...
Water.
What is something you live by?
Control what you can control.
I like that. I've never heard that one. What is your favorite movie?
Iron Man.
Do you have a favorite quote from that movie, or?
It's not from that movie, but it's from Iron Man. I love you 3000. I like the end of Endgame.
Oh, I love that one. What age did you start playing hockey?
4.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, really.
Really young.
Yeah.
What TV show would you want to be casted in?
How I Met Your Mother.
Is that your go-to binge
Oh,
one
yeah.
then? Yeah?
For sure.
So we have one bonus question where Brett has to throw someone on his team under the bus. Who is the worst dancer on the team?
Number 14, my roommate, Cade Nielsen.
Oh, no. Why is that?
He's just a very stiff human being.
Who is the best dancer then on the team?
Brendan Olson.
I can
Gets
see
loose,
that.
yeah.
I can see that man can play guitar. He can dance.
Yeah, he's kind of a jack of all trades.
Yeah.
Back here near the end of the first intermission. Again, we thank Snell Motors for their help sponsoring our intermissions all year long. Andy Hedlund with me along Don Westfall here, bringing you the second of the best of 3 series tonight. We're tied at 1. And speaking of scores, let's see what's going around. And we got a wild one right now up at Michigan Tech and Bowling Green. 5-5 in the third as the Falcons trying to extend that to a third game after getting beat 5-0 last night. No score between the Bulldogs and Beavers up at Bemidji State and St. Thomas. Actually, St. Thomas, we just found out from the control booth, just added another tally. So the Tommies, after getting beat last night, they are now up 3-0 on Lake Superior's trying to extend that to a third game tomorrow as well. So not shocked, maybe the 5-5 score is, but again, as we talked about, Andy, trying to end someone's season. Bowling Green, Ferris State, they're throwing everything they can. St. Thomas right now doing everything they can to extend it to the third game. So not surprising. Of course, we're in the same predicament here with 1-1 after 1.
Well, and it's great hockey this time of year, and it's been a tight conference all year, right? You could kind of throw the names up in the air at any point in time and not really know where everybody's going to land. So no real surprises that it's a battle and a dogfight here as we get to the end.
Thanks for coming down, by the way. We tried to get you a few times throughout the season. You're a popular guy, but you're also popular at home with commitments with kids and stuff like that. But glad you could join us for the broadcast, and glad everyone here on FloHockey watching, including the Danners. I got a shout out to give to everyone up near Chisholm watching us on FloHockey this weekend.
If we're giving a shout out, I think
we
I have to say
definitely
hi to my daughter Stella. She's watching me at home and giving me some pointers on how to be better here in the booth. So, yeah, and that's part of the reason why I haven't been down is coaching some youth hockey and wasn't able to coach the Maple Grove Crimson this year at the high school level either, taking care of the family. But always happy to be here. That drive down 169 just gets me fired up by the time I hit Le Sueur, so always excited.
I don't know how you can be critiqued at all. You're doing a wonderful job. So I think, boy, it must be tough around the Hedlund house if you're getting critiqued by the daughter after one period. You know Mom will have your back, right?
Well, I'm probably getting Mom in trouble right now with her. So
that's all right. So again, 1-1 the score. 8-6 shots on goal in favor of the Mavericks. And another stat of note, not only just 6 shots on goal for the Wildcats, they only got 11 attempted in the first period. Granted, you had the 3 penalties to kill off.
You know, and it's interesting. They didn't get a ton of shots, but some of their chances were really in tight. I want the Mavs, the low center and the D to tighten up their play around the blue paint. Just a couple of pucks that slid in there that became good quality chances, regardless of the fact that they didn't have that many shots.
Bolson is into the zone. Low angle shot there, and Benny Halas makes that save, and we'll take a face-off in the circle. So we thank the students again. We gave them credit last night. I don't know if we got their picture up, but all the students up on the campus of Bethany Lutheran College helping us out with the broadcast this weekend, bringing us those up-to-date scores. And as we said last night, can you imagine spending your spring break on campus getting ready for a broadcast this weekend? That's how they spent their spring break, Andy.
Good for them. Commitment. And, hey, these guys are giving up their spring break, too. I hate to point that out.
No, that's true. Yeah, no, but they knew what they were getting to when they got that Division I opportunity here. And, again, they're a few weeks away from really where they want to get. It was a goal from day one, get to that national tournament. And, again, whether it's the Mavericks or the Wildcats, whoever wins the conference will get that bid, except if it's St. Thomas. And, again, they're still kind of in their probationary period, making the transition from D1 or D3 to D1. So if the Tommies were to get to a conference championship game, their opponent that night would already be in a good position because they know that they would have that automatic bid.
Well, and to go back real quick to what you were saying, I do have to say, big thanks and congratulations.
Moravec just ran out of real. Oh, and then he takes a huge hit as he gets dropped by Pedersen behind. But by the time he was able to gather up possession of the puck, just didn't have any room to get the shot off.
Back to the congratulations, just with how well this Bethany group works and the stuff that they produce. I can't say enough good things about the work that they've done.
Did you hear that our little what we call a pregame hype video? The students who did that, they won a national award against schools like Ohio State and Michigan and Notre Dame. So we got to send a couple students to Las Vegas next month to get the national championship award.
Well, that's incredible. And I was just talking to Greg during the break about it, actually.
Yep.
So great stuff for those kids.
And I have offered my services if they need an advisor to go along. I would be happy to do that, but I think I'm going to be aced out of that opportunity.
You're a giver.
Yeah, well, that's all I do. longest standing member of the broadcast group here, Andy. Van Noorden with the shot that's blocked by Sykos. 25 years next year with the broadcast. Going back, yeah, your days, and wow,
Yep.
a lot of great hockey in between. In fact, we're flirting with the idea of trying to put together a top 10 games all time that we broadcasted. And you might be involved with a few of them. Talked about the night when Wisconsin was in here, and I think that was a 3-0 shutout that night. And Badgers were ranked #1 in the country at that time.
I can remember that one vividly. That
Yeah.
was one of the games I always remember being a Maverick, and a fun time, and just some incredible players with Ryan Pracht and Heatley on that team.
Yeah, Robbie Earl was on that team.
Some
and
really good hockey players.
we had that game that night, not only on our local broadcast field, we were on ESPNU that night. They picked up our broadcast and simulcast it. And
It's a good thing nobody told us. We might have been a little more nervous.
that was a big one. No, you guys were impeccable that night, shutting out the Badgers. And again, that's one of many fine games that we've seen here. A lot of playoff wins. Mavericks playoff wins. They've been successful. They've been beyond this round 11 straight years. They've made it past the first round. Trying to extend that to a 12th tonight with the win. Bellini off the glass is up and out of play. In fact, went into the public address area here with the scoreboard. Yeah, Mavericks first round games, home playoff games, they're 34-7. And actually that was after or before last night, so 35-7 now, that record in first round action here in the home arena. Bandow. Eddie with a shot through some traffic at Karam's wide. Grohl trying to tip the rebound away. Christoph Pop. Pop still with it, being watched by Morton. Bando gets past him. Your phone's lighting up now, isn't it? Everybody knows they can get a shout out with Andy. So it's
taking bids.
Yeah, exactly. Eddie unable to get possession, but does clear. Power tipped in by Sauter. Velas left off here with Bando. Eden Gallagher. Gantus drags one back, but then he gets picked off by a couple of would-be defenders. Mavericks will pick it up with Bolson. Near side, Isley puts himself offside on the play, and a face-off with 15:41 left to go in the second. Again, still tied at 1. Both goals back in the first unassisted. If we end up going to Game 3 tomorrow, we would be an hour earlier, which in essence is almost 2 hours earlier with the start, since today is the last night, or we lose the hour of sleep tonight with daylight savings time. With that corrected time on your clock tomorrow, if we need to go to Game 3, we're on the air at 5 o'clock Central Time Zone for Mankato. Gantus on the far side. Now behind the net, still has it, brings it out with some traffic in front, and somehow Tracy was able to get a blocker on that. Bolson, play to the far side. Wilson will pick things up. Carries through neutral ice, and then Bolson, a little too eager, puts himself offside. And we'll redo the face-off, is behind the net. Wilson, who's had a chance to exchange pleasantries a few times tonight with the Wildcats. Another discussion there.
You know, Patolny had said that his top players need to be his top players. They need to be better than the Mavericks' top players, and he needed to shuffle guys around to make sure that he got them involved in the game. You've said the name Gantus quite often so far. He's had the puck on his stick. He's been moving, created some offense right there. Definitely one of the guys that Patolny was looking to get going a little bit more, create more opportunities, and as he said it, get some more grade A scoring chances.
Yeah, Mavericks did a pretty good job last night on that line. Really the only change of note was just in the line charts, because Patolny elected to kind of switch things up on his top 2 lines, but no personnel changes on either side going into this one. Boucher gets past him as he was working in from the point, so Jakob Peterson is going to come back, clean things up. Boy, 25 minutes gone in the game, and neither team has 10 shots on goal yet at this point. That one drifts wide off a leg. Herbix gets stood up in the corner by Wheeler. Then Wheeler, another hit down low, and didn't see who that was. His physical play starting to pick up just a bit. Played ahead for Carabas, but Bando picks that one off, brings it into the zone. That's onside, but blocked at the line. Herbix has it. Watched by Steinmetz. Wheeler steps into the play to cause some disruption. Skukinski will try to bring it out from behind the net, and does. And Tracy with the bouncing puck has to find some room as Skukinski gets dropped by Wheeler at the net.
Kind of a 1-on-3, 1-on-4 here coming out of the corner. Surprised he was even able to get as much on as he did, but a little bit of a plinko there with the puck bouncing around off all the Maverick defensemen.
Off a few skates, that gets dangerous. That causes coaches to lose their hair. Face off in the zone with Isley stepping in for the Mavericks along with Skuzinski. Bellini tied up on the play by Mark Snorm, so Isley helps out. Wilson in the far corner just lifts one out to center ice to clear. Bouncing puck that Isley tries to get after, but picked up by Mark Snorm. Michael Messick dumps one into the corner. That shot off Tracy goes off into the corner one more time, and as Messick tries to play it into the slot, the Mavericks pick it up. Isley on the far side. Here comes Wilson. Score! Wow, out of nowhere, Wilson is able to rifle one past Falas. I thought it was close to an offside coming into the zone.
I would agree, and with the last couple that we had, I was trying to watch closely as he did it too. But I'll tell you what, got to hand it to Wilson here. Doesn't even corral it, doesn't wait on it. Hits him right in the wheelhouse and he lets it go.
I would not be surprised if they want to see a replay of this one.
There's some conversation now. And
Grant Petone talked to the officials, and this one, yeah, I have to be honest with you, originally when it came in, and we're going to see it.
Northern Michigan is challenging the call on the ice of a good goal for offsides.
I originally thought that play was going to be dead on an offside call, so we'll see right here. Yeah, I think that one might be coming back, my friends.
yeah, if the left skate stays, but his right skate is a skate on the ice, it doesn't look like with speed and pace right there, right? They didn't let him set up, and like I said, quick shot by Wilson.
Let's get the call from the officials who've had their replay look.
The call on the ice is offsides. We have no goal.
Yeah, I gotta be honest with you, I think it's the right call, Andy.
I would agree with you.
Yeah. I thought it was right away, and boy, then the shot came in so quick. Here's another look at it. Yeah, and the fans, there's actually not a whole lot of argument. You can tell by fan reaction, booing, and they all, once they now have seen it in the arena. They have to acknowledge it too. So good use of the replay there. Good decision by the Wildcat coaching staff. We're still tied at 1, nearing the midway point of the contest. Mavericks with an extra shot since our statement a few moments ago, and there's another pass, but the Mavericks able to clear up because Wildcats couldn't make a play on it, or it would have been offside. Mavericks now the first team to get to double digits with 10 shots on goal and about 13-10 left to go as it's played through the top of the crease, but Morton not there. Murr able to keep it into the zone. Here comes Morton between the circles. Halas has it, the follow up by Morton. Score! Sam Morton coming through. First attempt gets the save made, but follows up on the rebound and is able to float one past Halas, who had dropped down, and the Mavericks do get their 2-1 lead.
Yeah, I think Sam can add that to his highlight reel there. Going 1-on-2, takes the first shot, follows up for his own rebound, won't be stopped, willed that puck into the back of the net. Great goal and way to build on that momentum. I mean, it's tough to get a goal called back, but Mavs wasted no time in getting right back out there.
Morton is 23rd of the season at 7:01, and again, credit on the play. I believe it was Murr who found a way to hold that zone, and Morton picked up that loose puck at the line and was able to play it between the circles to create the opportunity on the goal.
You know, and a couple good plays there by Cook leading up to it, carrying the puck up the ice, getting a little momentum, getting some zone time, and jumping into the rush. So.
Assisted by number 10, Evan Murr. Morton from
Murr does get the single assist on the play. And both coaches have talked about it. You had a chance to talk to Grant Petolny, myself with Luke Strand. That concept, best players playing best. They've both shown up tonight. Both Gontus and Morton came into the weekend, tied for second in the conference in scoring. And now Van Unen has been hit, and he's up on his knees at least, but I think we have another important call coming up here. Morton's off the bench right away to get an explanation before the officials talk about this one, but this is another big decision.
I think you said it late in the last period, right? That the next call, right? We're going to get a call here against the Mavs soon, right? And
it's coming. The question is,
yep.
Is it going to be just a single, or is there going to be more attached to it? Morton and Gontus again tied for second in the conference in scoring. Both have scored tonight. They're waiting the big decision. We'll now get it from the officials, who are actually going to continue and have a further discussion. 12:32 left to go. Mavericks have just taken the lead, their first lead of the night. They're going to go on a penalty kill. How long it will be, we'll find out in a matter of moments.
Minnesota State minor penalty on the play. The play is under review for a potential major.
All right, so the minor with the potential review on a major.
We've seen this quite often this year, right? This is kind of common practice.
It's kind of off to the side.
You know, to me, I don't consider that a major, right? I mean, he comes up a little bit high on the hit, but he still is getting shouldered. Now, Wildcats player, I mean, he does hit his head off the glass. Does that indicate a major? Boy, I think that's tough. I think contact for the Maverick player, hitting him in the shoulder, should suffice for a 2, but then again, I'm up here, they're down there.
Yeah. I would guess at this time probably going to be at least the boarding is what might be called. Here's another look. Isley. You know, he doesn't leave his feet. This, another big call. The offsides was a big call. And again, I understand that right now a lot of the Wildcat fans, you know, we want to respect the fact that we do represent Minnesota State Mankato. We're Maverick fans here, but we realize the magnitude of this call right now. It's been made. Let's get it from the officials.
After review, there was no major penalty on the play. 58 Minnesota State, 2 minutes for boarding.
Yeah, boarding is going to go in the books, just the 2-minute minor, and you're good with that call?
I'm good with that call, yeah. I mean, we knew a penalty was coming against the Mavs. I don't think it warrants a 5. I think the referees have done a great job getting it correct both times tonight on these replays, so good for them. We'll see if the Mavericks can get a good timely kill here.
7:28 the time of the call, and right now the Wildcats come right back with an opportunity to tie this game up. And Union up on top, or that was Mark Snoren rather. Zinger, he'll get a return feed, and a nice job by Sykos with the skate to take that shot and put it up into the netting. Again, here in the second period, the long change factors into it a little bit as well.
Yeah, next clear, you think the Mavericks will probably get new personnel out there. Like you said, that long change can pin you in on this penalty kill. But great block by Sykos. One of the things you brought up earlier, that the Mavs need to block more shots, and committing for his team there and coming up with a big block.
Another face-off one in the zone by the Wildcats. Zing with the shot that's blocked. Onto's out in front, but unable to gather up a bouncing puck. Sykos behind the net will try to play along the boards. Sauter there. Mark Snorm is able to pull the puck away. Christoph Pop gets past Van Unen in the slot area. Sykos with it. Doesn't really have much of an angle. Tries to clear in one attempt, but it's blocked. And now Morton will pick things up. Mavericks actually come out of the zone with numbers, but they're late in a penalty kill. Good choice by Sauter.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Wheeler had a little extra juice in his legs. He wanted to burn it up, but 3 men back for the Mavs now, and Wheeler's going to be going for a change.
So they're in the zone with 3 defensive players. Mark Snorm, and Tracy makes a really big save, and also importantly doesn't give up a rebound as the Mavericks got caught down 5-3 into the zone.
Yeah, he's seeing the puck well. He's coming on top of his crease, gobbling up rebounds. That's what we expect out of him this time of year. He's got to be your best penalty killer, right?
Pace of the game nearing the halfway point, much better than last night, and you can tell both these teams, with the magnitude of what's on the line, have brought their A game into the building. At the point, Skukinski left off for Kalela, and now it's going to go, but still right on the line, so they're in the zone. Nice job there getting down as Moravik with the stick to block that centering attempt and clear. Kalela with 33 seconds left in the power play. Riley Funk on the far side. Steinmetz almost was able to gather up possession. To the point, Colby ends. Kabanoff. Far boards. Power with the stick blocks that one into the corner. Kalela unable to get there. Moravik, can he dive out in time to get to it? No, actually both he and Kabanoff. Numbers back the other way, out in front, and another stymie there by Tracy as Funk, who didn't have any room to work with, but tried to slam one home, and Tracy on his knees up tall on that save to make the save.
Yeah, here we go, both players diving, trying to do their best. Funk has been doing a good job setting up the tripod in front of the net. Gets a little battle next to the net, but Tracy's up to the challenge. You notice earlier there in the penalty kill, when the puck's on the wall, when there's loose possession or the puck's rolling a little bit, that's when the Mavericks are going to overwhelm the other team, get 2-3 guys on the puck, and you saw it on the top right corner there by the blue line, where as soon as that puck's on the wall, they're overwhelming the other team and came up with a very nice clear.
Mavericks would love to get the draw with 4 seconds left. Isley is going to get out of the box as soon as he can, but it was such a clean win for the Mavericks off the draw. No opportunity to catch the player breaking out of the box for a breakaway attempt. But we are back to 5-on-5 hockey, and another poke check there by Wilson takes care of that play. Wheeler left off with Sykos. Now Bolson, he'll carry to neutral ice. Isley played back, here comes Wilson, tries to drag it to create a shot, but it's poked away by Kabanoff, and now Eddie with Cook back defensively. Takes care of that angle into the corner. Gontus picks up the puck as he's knocked there by Isley, still has it. Gontus will try to bring it out in front. Up on top of the slot, and that shot through some traffic, it got through, and Tracy makes a late adjustment off the tip from Zinger. And as the players gather around the crease, we'll take a break. The Mavericks with the lone tally here in the second. Morton, his 23rd of the year, and it's the Mavericks on top 2-1. Here's a penalty coming up as we're back to action.
Penalty number 3. 2 minutes for roughing after the whistle.
Roughing after the whistle on Cook. And that happened during that brief discussion here, and you'll see it right now. And
you know, watching it from here, I was thinking they were going to call both, but they probably got it right there, unfortunately.
Yeah, those Sgantus tries to stuff one in short-sided. Tracy's down on the ice, and now you're going to get more of a discussion as they really collapse down, and Gantu steps into the play with Sauter. And you're going to see more of this as the game goes on. Again, as especially for the Wildcats, those backs to the wall are going to come out with some level of resistance.
Well, you see that down on the goal line where Gantus is doing that kind of inside-out move where he's catching it and kind of spinning away from the defenseman, where the defenseman has no chance to get a stick on it. And it's just going to be him and the goalie with a little battle. He's kicking and whacking. Great job by Tracy and the D getting in there to cover up where they can.
Morton and Pop in there for the face-off. Both teams right now with their top special units out there. Big win for the Mavericks as it's cleared down the ice by Psychos. Again, still here noting the long change in the second period on this penalty kill for the Mavericks. Pop brought into the zone. Short side, oh, they had Van Woonen on the near side as Gantus was trying to feed him, but a little bit too much steam on that, and the tip never was able to be pulled off. Played back up top for Zinger. Mark Snorum with a short-sided shot that's wide. Pop. Zinger one more time will send one in toward the net, and thankfully it hit the base of the net before the Kieran might have come out in the crease. Mark Snorum and Tracy right there for another big save. And with just about 1 minute gone in the power play time with Cook in the box. And now they might
Great stick by Psychos there. A few too many looks, though, for my pleasure, by the Wildcats. A few open lanes, maybe a slow rotation by the Mavs once the winger went out to the wall, but good pressure by the Wildcats. Obviously, they're attacking the net. They sense the urgency here.
You saw just on the replay there that great look with a lot of net to work with, but Rylan Van Woonen unable to pick up that puck. It's played back to the point and tipped out by Moravik. He watches Zinger all the way back into the zone, and then Moravik will get there, and he'll just take it down in the corner and try to take off a few more seconds of time. Zinger still with it as he's looking to create a drop pass, and he does. I know that this is a newer thing. I just have never understood the dynamic of this play, because just that's going to cost him another 10 seconds. And the Mavericks have tried a few times this year too, and it's created some shorthanded opportunities.
Don, it's one of the things that I've never felt comfortable with myself. Probably, you and I are getting older and we're old school when it comes to the power play breakout, but it's become the norm in the NHL. Push the penalty kill back as far as you can so that you get a clean entry. But you're right. I mean, there is that moment of time where there's a lot of risk.
Here's a chance now for Hillman, low angle, and he'll bring it just behind the net, and wisely he just dumps one back in and takes more time. Good choice there for Hillman, and the power play opportunity number 2 is gone. They never recovered from that drop pass. They never gathered up the puck again and cleanly got it into the zone.
Well, and what I would think Petulny would want to say to Zinger there, if you take that much ice away from the Mavericks, you got to continue to go. And your boys are going to join you. You cross the blue line a little bit shorthanded, but the rest of your team's going to come from behind you. But, an errant pass back, you're right, going to kill another 15 seconds.
Kranik gets tied up with Gantus. Heavy hit there, and the Mavericks get the turnover. Bolson with the shot, and that one's blocked by Colby Enns, who drops to the ice on the play. Eddie the other way, and Psychos has it. Inside 7 left to go here in the second, and now for the first time tonight after that last power play, it's the Wildcats leading as far as shots on goal, 14-12. Christoph Pop, watched by Murr into the zone, but Murr digs it away, and here comes Murr the other way. He's got a trailer behind him. Got a second trailer played down low. Morton also trying to track down the rebound, but Pop controls and plays it out. Grohl with it one more time for the Mavericks. Now Morton. Played back to the point. Funk tries to get around Murr on the play. Lost the puck, and Cook is there. All the way along the boards to the far side. Moravec has it. Moravec for Grohl, who can take it into the zone, dump it in, and the Mavericks are going to complete a change as Herbex jostles a little bit with Grohl on the play. Riley Funk, and the Mavericks able to take a bouncing puck and at least clear, and it's played up into the bench area. And the face-off will come just outside the Wildcats bench with 5:54 left to go here in the second. Sam Morton, the lone goal of the second period, off a rebound from his own shot to the side of the net. 7:01 Murr with the assist, and Sam Morton will also expect to be our intermission guest here when we come to that. Second intermission brought to you by Snell Motors.
Two things we've seen here this second half is the pace of the play, right? There's a few more odd man rushes, a few more opportunities. It's kind of opened up a little bit. And the physical play these last few minutes, you can tell the intensity and the tension, if you will, has really risen amongst both sides.
We will also attempt, if we can get some out-of-town score updates to you, certainly in the intermission we'll bring you those, but we know that game 5-5 between Bowling Green and Tech, that was in the third, so if we can pick up even a final or some updates before the period ends, we'll give you those as well.
And I can't help but mention, too, with the big high school hockey tournament going on, right, that we have Chanhassen, we have a Maverick relative in there with Braden Willis playing for Chanhassen, son of Jesse Willis, and congratulations to the Stender family being from Alexandria. I got a chance to watch some of their games this weekend. For the Cardinals, watching B.J. Anderson's two boys, Evan and Aaron, play. And then we have Perbix and the Elk River Elks made it back to the state tournament in quite a long time. So pretty cool for everybody involved with that.
Love those connections. And yeah, the big one tonight to finish off the state high school hockey tournament here in Minnesota. Edina and Chanhassen, seeds number 1 and 2 going at it tonight up in St. Paul.
You heard some people say that they knew the championship was coming to that conference one way or another, right? Those two sections, could have been Wayzata and Minnetonka.
Yes, exactly.
But it's, Chanhassen and Edina tonight.
Being old school, I love the fact Grand Rapids was in there. I remember the days growing up when Grand Rapids, when Jim Jetlin was their goaltender back there in the late 70s. So good to see that representation as well. And always a fun time of year as that's going to come all the way in on Tracy, who kind of fans on that attempt. Thankfully, you think going to the net as Kalela looked to try to create an opportunity on the breakout pass. Kalela with it in the corner. He gets dropped. Actually lost the edge on his own volition. Hillman. Wheeler. Tipped in on net, so no icing. The Mavericks can get the change made as well. 4:40 left to go in the second. A nice job by Wilson to break up. He's got Isley breaking down Wilson. Low angle. Score! What a huge goal there by Wilson, who picks off the pass at the line and goes with the shot and goes far side just inside the post to make it 3-1 Mavericks.
You saw it all the way. I mean, that's an excellent shot. Going all the way across Halas onto the stick side. And I don't know if Luke Wilson's a chef, but this celebration here, he likes it. So does the crowd.
15:28 the time of the goal for Wilson, his 7th of the season. And a big one for the Mavericks. They get a 2-goal cushion late in period number 2.
Scoring at 15:28 in the second period, his 7th goal of the season.
Sauter after it along with Peterson. Played back now. Murr will tee one up wide. Wilson unassisted as he picked up the puck just outside the zone, carried in. Again at Isley, I think, on the far side trailing, but caught. Halas leaning a little bit, moving to his left. And there's Grohl with the stuff attempt. And just got past Halas' stick side, and he heard it clank off the post. We hear late in the third, Tech is up 6-5, looking to close out that series as well. All kinds of fun stuff going on here on the first weekend of the Mason Cup playoff championship run. Through some traffic, got redirected, and then from behind the net, Kabanoff was looking to stuff it in, but as he brought it out from behind, he lost it. But that got redirected out in front, and a dangerous opportunity for the Wildcats. Morton and they're going to say Morton was offside. They might say it was actually the offside came on the far side, and so it's whistled down.
It's on that long change, right? Every once in a while when a guy's going for change in the second period, it causes the offsides. But, you know, we talked about the transition game in pregame as a key. And those small turnovers, you know, Carabas' goal, I guess, isn't really a transition, but it's a transition from a turnover quickly. So we've had three transitions off turnovers. We had the Maverick turnover by Cook early that led to a goal, the one behind the net for Carabas, and then we have Luke Wilson there capitalizing on what seems like not a dangerous turnover, but he made it dangerous by attacking the net, coming up with a great shot, and going the other way quickly.
Morvik, Perbix was leaning on his stick, took it all the way down to the ground. So we're still waiting to get things aligned here for a face-off. Wildcats win the draw. Played wide of the net. Tracy is there to force it into the corner. Perbix with the skate kicks it back in. Morvik with the loose puck. He'll carry to neutral ice and flip one in. Carabas off on the race. We'll get to the corner first. Played back to the point. Steinmetz sends it right back in behind the net. Flipped out of the zone by Ryland Van Unen. Perbix with a drop pass there. Broken up by the Mavericks. Bellini and Power were back defensively. Now the Mavericks with Carabas, who just gets to the red line. Would have liked to have gotten it deeper. Mavericks will start a little bit of a change. Final scoring tonight from Michigan Tech. They do defeat Bowling Green 6-5. Here's a 2-on-1 the other way. And Tracy, not giving an inch, comes out to cut down the ankle and takes care of that shot and the rebound from Ryland Van Unen. So again, Tech 6-5 winners tonight. They move on to round 2.
You know, and this is an underrated play by Mason Wheeler too, right? There's patience there. He's trusting Tracy. There's communication as a defenseman. You're always taught, make the guy shoot. The goalie can play the shot coming straight on, but the minute you let that puck go to the middle, Tracy's got to come across. He's doing the splits. He's diving. So great job by Wheeler. Great job by Tracy cutting down that angle. Big stop at a key moment in the game.
Shots on goal now tied 15 apiece. And Mark Snorm was tied up off the faceoff before he could get a shot off. Kranick the other way, carries into the zone, dumps it into the corner. Peterson and Haskins after it, along with now Hillman. I mean, for puck possession, Kranick gets it and dumps it right back in. Really important now, Andy, for the Mavericks. I think this 2-goal lead, they don't want to give up one. They want to carry that momentum, the 2-goal cushion, into the intermission.
Absolutely. You know, it's pucks deep, it's going hard, but not playing on their heels, and there's going to be a lot of game left. You do not want to give the Wildcats any sniff at this point. Keep playing the way they're playing right now.
Messick back into the zone. That shot sent wide, and the caram's going to come all the way out to the far side with Isley. Isley will look for a trailer, but he played it behind. But now Wilson gets there on a forehand shot that's up high and off his shoulder. Cook with the follow-up, still loose now off that rebound, and Mark Snorm is able to clear it up and actually goes off Wilson out of play as Van Unen is tied up. He's draped on top. I'm trying to see who it is for the Mavericks on the play. It might be Bolson.
Smothered, we can't see who it is.
Yeah.
Getting covered up, and you know, it's a battle. You expect that this time of year, and Wilson looking for Bolson there, but just didn't quite open up and went short side off the bar. And
face-off is going to come outside the zone with 1:25 left in the second. Looks like actually that we might end up getting Luke Wilson for the interview, who picked up that big goal a few moments ago. Sauter and Gontus jostling. Those two guys have gone to war so many times over their careers for these respective institutions. Not surprising, again, with what's on the line, as Murr is able to hold and send it back into the zone. Grohl, Morton behind the net. Morton will try to get there and hold, but is unable to do so. Van Unen now brings it in. A penalty coming up against the Mavericks. Kick save made on the first attempt. And then the follow-up, there was players getting draped coming out in front of the Maverick bench out of the zone. And one of the Mavericks is going to pick up the infraction with less than a minute left in the second. Looks like they might be taking Morton, who's over for the discussion, but he's going to continue on
Minor
the
penalty,
box.
Minnesota State number 6, holding.
Holding is the call. So not only one, not only twice, but 3 consecutive calls going against the Mavericks after the Wildcats had the first 3 of the game.
Well, they've balanced out the marbles, right?
Yeah.
And we're back to square here. Another big kill. It all starts with the face-off, and like we've said before, the best killer's got to be Tracy for the next 57.3 seconds.
Well, I tell you, this is where things got really interesting last night when the Wildcats made a big push. Aaron passed there, and Steinmetz is going to be able to gather it up, carry, and just float one very nicely into the zone. Nicely played. And that'll take care of a lot of precious time here nearing the end of the second. Holding again the call on Morton. 3rd consecutive power play opportunity for the Wildcats. Still loose, and Moravec, great job with the poke check there and sends it down.
Moravec's had an excellent night on the penalty kill tonight. Just smart decisions. Great job with the puck. Good job getting in the lanes.
Christoph Pop near side. And Noonan with the shot through a ton of traffic. And somehow, while it's there the first time and then the follow-up is sent wide, there was a ton of net on the first attempt, and it was just shot wide by the Wildcats. To the far side. Time will run out here in the second, and boy, just a close opportunity there. Wildcats unable to capitalize, but they will still have a minute 3 of power play time when we come back in the third. But we're at the end of 40 minutes of hockey, and it's the Mavericks right now after 2 holding on to a 3-1 lead in Mankato.
Andy Hedlund here in the second intermission of the game. Mavericks are up 3-1. I'm joined by Luke Wilson. Luke, thanks for joining me. I got to say, 20 years ago, I know somebody else who wore that number 7, but it looks good on you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
What was said in between the periods there to get that kind of response that you guys showed coming out?
Yeah, you know what? I thought the first was we were playing a little bit of selfish hockey. We weren't buying into, the systems and whatnot. So a lot of it was just emphasizing what we need to do for our team to be successful. And I thought we got back to that in the second period, and it obviously paid off.
Yeah, absolutely. So awesome goal, great turnover. You attacked the net, top shelf on the far side. But tell me about the celebration. Where did that come from?
Yeah, actually, I saw Nick Bastian do it in the Winter Classic for New Jersey a couple of weeks ago. And he said he was paying homage to his Italian roots. So I thought, what better celebration than to pay homage to my family that's sitting on the couch back home watching me play. And you know what? They've supported me so much all the way to this point. So it's the least I could do. And family means everything to me, so I love playing for them.
That's awesome. Love to hear it. What can we expect out of you guys here in the third to seal this win?
Yeah, I think a lot of the same stuff we brought to the second period. I think obviously chipping pucks in and out on blue lines is critical. Their D-men are going to pinch in the offensive zone, so if we can get pucks by them and transition pucks, we might have some odd man rushes, catch some cheating, and then obviously pay attention to blocking shots and doing the little things, smart dumps, keep it away from their goalie, and you know what? I think our group's we've been flying so far through the playoffs here, and our momentum is just going to keep us going through this third period, and hopefully keep doing the little things and it'll pay off.
Yeah, we'd love to see it. Thanks, Luke. We'll let you get back to the locker room.
Thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah, we'll send it to break here. You're watching Maverick Hockey on FloHockey.
We're back at the Mayo Clinic Health System Event Center. It's the second intermission brought to you by Snell Motors. And while we got a chance here, realizing the magnitude of what's online this weekend, we're going to give you a quick update of the out-of-town scores. Again, one final already in the books. Michigan Tech, after the 5-0 win last night, they win this one this evening. 6-5 in a wild contest. Bowling Green gave them everything they could tonight, but it's Tech with the win and the win in series 2-0. So they move on to round number 2. It looks like they might be joined tonight by Bemidji State because the Beavers up in the third period over Ferris State 3-0. Again, that game last night, Ferris led most of the contest. A late goal tied it up in regulation, and then Polkamp's goal about a half a minute into overtime gave the Beavers the win. They're up 3-0 tonight, and again, looking to even the series at 1 in Mendota Heights outside of St. Paul, Minnesota. It is St. Thomas with a 4-1 lead over Lake Superior State in the third. If the Tommies can hold on to that one, that game, that series would go to Game 3 tomorrow afternoon. Again, our score in the second intermission, it is the Mavericks 3, the Wildcats 2, as you're watching Maverick Hockey here on FloHockey.
right with a fabulous butterfly save. And it's taken away by Bowling Green behind the net. Battle for Curtis right on the doorstep. No! Stover, another save. The Huskies come right back with it across the line. They're outside. Isaac Gordon with a drop pass. Yellow with a shot. Saved by Seibel. Left down there by the Huskies. In front. Scores! Oh, what a play by the Huskies! Moving that puck around. Kept on watching where it was going and didn't give up on the play. And Logan carried it.
And that's the bounce that we were looking for last night. And they got it early tonight. What a play by Rylan Mosley to grab that puck.
He had it knocked off his stick, then he stole it back again. Now they throw it in front. Milburn goes down low and it turns, scores! What a play that was! Give Milburn credit yet again, but that was a great play down in front. 15-56 will be the time of that goal. Boy, that kid can do some special stuff, can he? Brandon Piku with his second of the night.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to a new segment called Mavs Off the Ice. I'm your host, Kenzie Schmidt, and today I am here with number 5, Mason Wheeler. Do you have any secret talents that people might not know about you?
I can cut hair. Not good at it.
Did you cut your own hair?
Come on. It looks pretty good.
What is a tradition that you do every game day that you have to do?
I have to have a coffee. I think that's mandatory on a game day. I have to have my caffeine.
How many siblings do you have?
I have twin brothers. They are 27. They kind of made me a tough kid growing up with 2 older twin brothers that just kind of beat me up. But I got them now.
Someone wants to make a movie about you. Who is playing you in your movie?
Keto Hiroshi.
Why Keto?
He's just got a really good personality.
We're going to do one bonus question where Mason has to throw someone on the team under the bus. Who is the worst cook on the team?
I would have to say number 15, Adam Isley. Just haven't seen him even cook, but when he does, it's a mess.
Is he burn the toast kind of person?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so then who's the best cook on the team?
The guys that I'm around is like Hilly and Steve, so I'd have to say those 2.
Don Westfall along with Andy Hedlund back here getting set for game 3. The second intermission again brought to you by Snell Motors. We got a few moments so we can bring you the highlights of the first 2 periods. And there's the turnover by the Mavericks, and Gantu shorthanded goes in to make it a 1-0 game. But 8 minutes later, the Mavericks come back, take advantage of a turnover by the Wildcats, and Carabas got his 9th. That's where we were after the first, and there's the goal by Martin, following up in his own rebound, and then Wilson right there off the post is able to put one in, giving the salute to the family. And actually, Mr. Wilson's his dad stopped by a few weeks ago, and he was here in town. Said they watch all the time from British Columbia, so I'm sure a lot of cheering going on right now for the Wilson family. As again, he got his 7th of the year at 15:28 to make it 3-1. And the Mavericks 20 minutes away from moving on, but they first have to kill off the remaining about a minute and 3 seconds of a power play opportunity for the Wildcats, who desperately need to get a goal here to cut that lead in half for the Mavericks.
The great Scotty Bowman always said never give a team a power play on clean ice, right? But I do think it can go both ways. You're coming out a little bit cold from the locker room. You're trying to step on the ice. You got half your power play left, so you don't have the full 2 minutes. It's not a sure thing here for the Wildcats by any means.
Anybody who used to watch Maverick hockey here with me over the years knows my thoughts, and I got burnt a couple years ago, and Darren Blue has never let me forget my thoughts on either power play or the penalty kill here early in a period with the clean ice. And so I think you summed it up rather nicely. Darren, every time it happens, he lets me know his thoughts. It's a nice job there. Psychos drops down, blocked that shot. Here comes Steinmetz shorthanded, and Halas is there to make the save with Moravec looking for a rebound.
You know, I'm looking for numbers here on Psychos. Looks like he has 4 blocks, make it 5. He's been dynamite on the penalty kill as well. You know, selling out. He took one in the skate blade or heel earlier, kind of slowed him down, and that one he went right to the bench. But great job by Psychos and getting in the way, and you need big blocks on a penalty kill here in the third.
Shots on goal there in the second with the number of power play opportunities you would have to think, and it was this way. With the Wildcats outshot the Mavericks 12-8, 2-period total, 18-16 in favor of the Wildcats. Race for the puck. That's going to create an icing call with 21 seconds left to go, but the faceoff will come all the way back into the Wildcats' defensive zone.
You know, a lot of trust here with Luke Strand. He's got Stender, the freshman, on the penalty kill here in the third period. You know, in a conference playoff matchup. So great job by the young man, Jacob Stender here from Alexandria, Minnesota.
Steinmetz in for the draw along with Christian Pop. Played off into the corner. Zinger there. Steinmetz, however, is able to pick up possession and just deliberately play it back toward his own net to take remaining time off the clock as Morton is ready to get back onto the ice. Gontus unable to get that cleanly. Played into the corner, Murr. Now Pop. Mavericks back at full strength as Morton gets back into the play. Gontus from behind the net has it. Gontus still brings it behind. Tries to find someone, but no one in the slot area, so he just plays it up on top with Zinger. Floated back into the corner. Grohl steps in to break up that intended pass. Now Murr with it. Morton digs it out. Flips one out to center ice. No icing on the play as Sauter gets there first. Oh, and they had Grohl all along, but Halas very alertly steers that centering pass aside.
Great hustle by Sauter there, getting to that puck.
And that one, I think, is off the post. As Van Unen had a chance on the far side. Either that or got off Tracy's stick somehow, as it took a really weird carom. That was another dangerous play and a great opportunity that the Wildcats not able to convert on. There's that big play by Halas. And here's the play the other way. Herbig's with the pass over.
You know, how often do you see that where you see one scoring chance at one side and then it comes down the other end and ends up in the back of the net? Did that catch his helmet?
It might have gone off the helmet. I thought I heard something that was a little bit unique. It wasn't the sound of a pad, but yeah. Wilson over to the far side. Bolson will try to step into the play. Power. Back to the point, Bando with the shot, and another block there by Isley. Just what the doctor ordered as far as Luke Strand and the coaching staff. That one is redirected out in front and a score as Pap. They don't convert on the power play, but they get a goal early in the third to cut that lead down to 3-2 as Pap out in front redirects one past Tracy. And it's a 1-goal deficit for the Wildcats.
You know, and as we said, Isley does a great job getting the block, but a shot comes through from up high and great tip. Guy coming right through, they got a screen, they got a tip. You know, those are going to be tough to cover, and You hope for a lucky bounce. You hope that Tracy's out far enough that he can cut that angle down, but a tip at that spot, he has no time to change where he's at or come up with a save. He's got to hope that his decision was the right one.
Luke Strand himself is looking for a replay, and the official's in, and they have one of the linesmen in, so they must be looking at an offside call. Saw Pap right there, kind of near the circle making the play, and the official's already seen enough.
As he said, you could read the lips there, offsides. I didn't know if he was going to go with the fact that maybe it potentially would have been a high stick, but it looked like he might be challenging the offsides.
Yeah. The linesman is already out. He's talking to the official. The linesman's seen what he needed to make a decision. Let's get the call.
The previous play was under review for offsides. It has been confirmed that it was offsides. Minnesota State does not lose their timeout.
So it was offside on the play. Coaching staff for the Mavericks, give them credit. Yeah, he put himself offside on the play. Good call right in front of the Maverick bench on the bouncing puck, and so no goal. It's back to a 3-1 game. Tough break. The Wildcats haven't gotten many calls this weekend at all, but alert play by the coaches to make that review decision for the Mavericks.
Well, and that's two clear offsides that we've seen, right? Luke Wilson goal earlier off that one-timer on the rush, if you remember, got called off for the same thing, right? Just a little bit, feet her over by 2 inches, but great camera work, great job by the team catching us that angle so that everybody can see it was in fact offsides.
And I'm wondering now if the discussion is what time do you want to put back on the clock?
Yeah, that wasn't immediately.
No.
I mean, that was prior to Isley's big block. A couple other things transpired, so I don't know if that's a 20, 25 second play.
Yeah, if you're not going to get the goal, the Wildcats for sure want the time back up on the clock. There's no question about that. Interesting that, the player coming into the zone put himself off with the bouncing puck, and the Mavericks caught that right away. So our assumption is they're trying to find out when that call would have been made to put the appropriate amount of time back on the clock. As it stands, 17:43 left to go in the third. Here's the call one more time. And they haven't put any more time back up on the clock, so I'm wondering what the further discussion was all about. And now both coaches are having discussions.
For next year, can we ask for a microphone on the bench just for our pleasure?
Well,
even
it'd
if
be
we
fun.
can't air it.
Yeah, they don't have to air it. I like that idea. So they have not put any time back up on the clock. They're going to leave it at 17:43, so I could be wrong on my assumption. That's not the first time. And we're back at live action again. Our score off the offsides call that took the goal off the board. It's back to a 3-1 game as Grohl and Van Unen are engaged behind the play. Official right there to tell them to knock it off. Neither player really had anything going on. They were just looking for a call. Thankfully, the officials just said play on and let it go, boys. Zinger with Morton back. Morton looking for a turnover. Score! That play is all heart, all guts, all speed, all Sam Morton. Look at this.
Well, that's the first time I've seen it because I was too busy watching Van Unen and Grohl still going at it behind the play. But unbelievable effort. That's the second time tonight that he's just willed himself to a goal.
Morton, his second of the night, 24th of the season, also probably going to go in unassisted. And the Mavericks, a 4-1 lead here early in the fourth, just on the heels of having that goal for the Wildcats pulled off the board on the offside call.
Talk about momentum shifts. I mean, it's incredible how that happens. They say momentum isn't real, but man, I mean, it's amazing when something like that happens. You go down the other end.
Just a fantastic effort there by Morton. 2:51 the time of that goal for Morton. And Mavericks, a little bit of a cushion, but certainly no time to relax. Kinski played ahead. Haskin steps in to break up any momentum that Messick had to take it into the zone. Marks Norm now. Gathers it up. Played off the back and into the zone. Bellini is there for the Mavericks. Breakout pass that neither Maverick could play, or it might have been too many men in the ice. Yeah, the Mavericks, you don't want them to have any type of ill-advised penalty like that at this point. Steinmetz, his tip attempt, he got too much of the puck and actually it played right between his skates. Power is back, tips it away from one of the Wildcats breaking into the zone. Mavericks keeping it along the boards, brought out, however, then Bellini sends it right back. Carabas, loose puck between the circles, down deep, and Tracy makes a save as Riley Funk there was looking to convert on the turnover.
The Mavericks wings are going to be tested here, right, as these breakout passes are coming. The Wildcat defense have no other option but to be aggressive on that blue line. They're going to be pinching. They're going to be trying to keep pucks in. Mavs have done a good job so far chipping pucks out, but it's going to become even more important at this point with the extra pressure coming from the Wildcat blue line.
I would love to find out from Coach after the game who made the call to look at that goal, because Keith Paulson, one of the assistant coaches, he does not move from that blue line. Maybe he clearly saw it was right in front of him. But a big decision there. They take the goal off the board, and again, Morton just a few seconds after that able to come up, create the opportunity up the ice, and beat Halas for the fourth goal, his second of the night. Punk behind the net, unable to control. The Mavericks now with Bolson, who lifts it out to center ice. They'll go wide of the net, and that'll be an icing call, and we'll bring the face-off back in the Mavericks defensive zone. Again, we have one final for sure in tonight. 6-5 win for Michigan Tech. We knew that Bemidji State led late in the third. They're looking to close out that series over Ferris State. And again, it was the last score we had St. Thomas on top 4-1 over Lake State, looking to even that series. Off the draw, it hops right over the stick of Michael Van Unen. And Union one more time with it on the far side ahead for Gontus. And a big hit is Bolson. And Van Union go into the boards. Bando picks up a loose puck. Messick unable to control, so Wilson picks it up out of midair and plays it ahead for goal. Gallagher back to help out. Morton trying to break into the play and create an opportunity. Skukinski unable to gather it up, but played out of his zone by the Mavericks, and then Morton and Gontus collide. And I got a feeling they're going to have more discussion before the night's over as well. Again, Sauter and Morton, you got Gontus and Kalela, and guys who've been at it for 5 years with the COVID years and some big playoff games in this building. We talked about it last night. A few years ago in the COVID year, it was, in fact, Northern Michigan who came in and took care of the Mavericks in a semifinal, just a 5-1 drubbing.
You know, that play with that big hit almost is reminiscent of a fair catch in football. A guy puts his hand up, he's focusing on the ball, focusing on the puck. Big hit's coming.
Face-off as the puck went up out of play. The Mavericks will have a face-off in their own defensive zone. See there, Zach Kranick talking about big overtime games and big games in this building. Again, it was his goal in overtime last year that ended the season for Northern Michigan, giving the Mavericks the Mason Cup. They still have it, but they're a few weeks away from even having the opportunity to get it one more time, and a few wins away as well, as in on net and Halas makes the save as Hillman just puts on the one-timer.
You know, this time of game too, just set play by Hillman. Get a puck on the net, make the goalie make the save, make him decide if he's going to hang on to it or not. Luke gets to see who's coming out for Northern Michigan. He gets last change, so he gets the match if he wants. Any of these faceoffs are going to be helpful for the Mavs as they move forward.
Behind the net, now Enns will gather it up in the corner, play back for Michael Van Unen. Eddie At the line, the Mavericks are picked up with Hillman. Haskins just dumps it into the corner. Pranic will go in on a forecheck, but the rest of the line is off to start a change. Riley Funk at neutral ice, lost it, picked up again. And Enns will dump it into the zone. Now Jordan Power plays it out. Mavericks stay on side. Here's a play opportunity. Carabas, who tried to bring it to a backhanded shot but lost it. Brings it back between the circles, still has it. Goes back behind the net one more time. Out into the slot, but Moravec was not there for a play. Turnover here as Carabas picks it up. They're getting a little sloppy. Kukinski is back with it in the zone. Into the slot, here comes Gontus, and he's never able to gather up full possession of the puck before he runs out of time. Gontus poked away from him. Gallagher. Steinmetz trying to get it, and he'll play it back to Power. Loose puck that no one controls, and now Peterson it does, and just puts it back into the corner for Gontus. Bellini in the corner. Sidesteps away from a check. Gontus has it to the near side for Peterson. Able to hold the zone. Kukinski was between the circles, but that pass from Messick fails to connect. And Peterson is back behind his own net now with 12 minutes remaining in the third. Kabanoff trying to create the opportunity, but it's picked up by Wilson, sent down for Isley. Bolson will track it down in the corner, but lost an edge, and Kabanoff will clear. Played in as the Wildcats were offside on the play, and the faceoff will come in front of Maverick head coach Luke Strand and the rest of the coaching staff. We mentioned Keith Paulson a few moments ago, Troy G. Ward and Corey McCracken completing the coaching staff for the Mavericks, all nearing the end of their first season with the Mavericks.
I got a good look there. Moravic's kind of soft area pass, sliding it, through the triangle there. The Wildcats defenseman Carabas unable to get a shot on the play, but nice play by Moravec nonetheless.
And we're going to spend more time on a faceoff. Mavericks get it cleanly, and they'll pick it up with Cook, who'll just lift it up over the goal. In fact, Hillman tracks it down. Tied up on the play, Mavericks with Pranic, and then sent back in toward the net. Loose puck bounces around. Stender was looking for a turnover as Enns couldn't find a handle on the play. Pranic trying to feed it back, but Eddie picks it up for the Wildcats. Murr is back defensively. Murr left off. Still now Van Unen, and it's pulled away from him by Murr, who will just get to the red line, carried in. And he's dropped to the ice, but the rest of the guys are off, so the Mavericks have some fresh skaters out there. Souter after it, able to play it back into the corner. And now Morton. Grohl steps into the play. Morton one more time out in front, tried to feed Souter, but he misfired on his one time. Cleared down the ice, and Sykos is back for the Mavericks.
Definitely feels like there's been some physical play, some sticks that would have been called earlier in the game, but this time of the game with the season on the line for teams, referees to put the whistles away to some degree, and they're letting the boys play.
Bando will play it all the way along the boards for Kalela. Stepping in, however, trying to hold the zone is Isley. Long lead pass misfires. This should be an icing call, and it is with 10:15 left to go in the third. We'll take the face-off back into the Wildcats' defensive zone. Jordan Power, who led off the scoring last night, also had 4 blocks. Don't have any final numbers. We won't get them in time, but again, Coach Strand talking about the number of blocks that were going to be important in tonight's contest. Mavericks through 2 periods had attempted 37 shots, but 10 of those have been blocked, so maybe not the number the coach was looking for, but percentage-wise, that's pretty good as Isley puts one into the crease.
It feels to me as though the blocks have been timely, right? There's been some moments where there's some possession by the Wildcats, and We talked about Psychos a couple of times on the blocks. We talked about Isley, you know, that big block, which ultimately didn't need to happen because the play had been offsides beforehand and a goal was scored, but good job nonetheless.
Isley will step in for the draw. This Lukinski. Mavericks get it with Bolson. Tries to put one in toward the net, but too much traffic out in front of that play. Lead pass for Gontus. Goes rink wide, and another icing call. And we'll take the face-off back the other way. We'll keep it right here. Now it's an icing call, so we got to keep it here. Helping everybody out. The goaltenders had gone. We got the horn in the building. They were coming out to clean the ice. And Andy was up here. No. He knew exactly what was going on.
Just got to follow your lead.
Well, I do my best. Steinmetz now steps in for this face-off, and the Mavericks with Karabas get another one. Played to an open corner. Steinmetz, Morvik will step into the play with that low-angle shot now with the glove save by Halas. We'll take that timeout. 9:46 left to go in the third, and it's the Mavericks on top. 4-1, 2 goals tonight by Moore. .46 left to go in the third period of play. The Mavericks on top of the Wildcats by a score of 4-1. Gives us a moment here for a quick look around the CCHA in the first weekend of action. Again, 6-5 final tonight for Michigan Tech over Bowling Green. They're into the second round. Now a 4-0 lead. Must be late in the third for Bemidji State. They would look to move on as well over Ferristy. In that fact game, that just went final. So both the Beavers and the Huskies are in to the next round. And again, in the third, St. Thomas still on top of Lake Superior State by a score now of 4-2, but the Tommies with the win. They need it to force game 3 tomorrow afternoon. Howard turns one right around, and Steinmetz will float it back into the zone. Wildcats desperately need to get at least one goal here to kind of cut that Maverick lead down and start thinking about when they can pull Halas to keep their season alive. Gontus lost an edge as Union was coming back toward the play. Michael Messick sent into the zone by Moravik. And Mavericks need more of those types of plays the rest of the night just to take time off the clock.
This type of game, Mavericks are completely fine with this. It gives them a chance to get guys back. Second time this third period we've seen Stender play forward as opposed to D when he was playing earlier in the game. So Luke's got an idea of who he wants to use and how he's going to use him here in the third.
Sent down the ice, but actually out of play as well. So a face-off that is going to come back in the Maverick zone. Well, you think about the big plays of this game, and obviously 2 goals pulled off the board on offside calls, and been a lot of momentum swings. Both teams have had 3 power play opportunities. Neither team scored, but the shorthanded tally that opened the scoring, the Mavericks were able to overcome that turnover that Gontus got his 9th of the season on.
Well, and 3 goals for the Mavericks were all quickly after turnovers, right? big part of the game, and the turnovers is one thing, but the capitalization by the Mavs on those turnovers is phenomenal, right? That's a huge part of the game, and this time of year, you don't get enough opportunities, so you have to take advantage of the ones that you do get.
And we're going to get a penalty as Murr gets dropped coming into the zone. He's on his knees. It's going to be an interference call, and Eddie's going to go. And I don't know if that's so much just to appreciate the effort, but a little bit of frustration as well, because that's the last thing the Wildcats need. Here's the call from the official.
2 minutes for interference.
Interference, the call, as Gallagher's trying to get an explanation. One more look at it.
You know, if I'm a Maverick, I'm not a fan, right? That's a tough area. I mean, he was a good 15 feet from the boards yet, but wasn't looking for the physical contact yet. They were nowhere near the puck. You know, definitely put him in a dangerous situation going into the boards like that.
Eddie's off, and again, the lone goal tonight for the Wildcats was shorthanded. The fourth time the Mavericks have given up a shorthanded goal this year. They need to be smart here, not create the opportunities for the opponent. Gondu's with that goal. That worked, but Sauter with the skate gets in the way, and now Isley controls for the Mavericks. Both teams with 20 shots on goal. And against the Mavericks on the power play for the fourth time tonight. Sauter gets there ahead of Gallagher. Morton. Grohl has it in the corner. Near side now for Morton, who has the 2 goals tonight. Isley. Cook. Sauter. Morton in the slot looking for an angle, and that one is blocked as he was looking hat trick on the play. Had it really deep. A little bit of traffic out in front of the net. It goes up into the netting behind the goal. About the stick there of Gallagher. We just found out St. Thomas, that game is now a final as well. 4-2 tonight. So 2 of the top seeds are in terms of the Michigan Tech and Bemidji State. And St. Thomas with the win again, and we'll get to go to game 3. So the Mavericks are able to finish this one off. They'll be on the road next weekend for the semifinal contest somewhere, and that's a single game, remember. No longer, it used to be a few years ago best of 3 as well, but it moved to a single game. Out in front, Bolson unable to control the play, and it's along the boards back to the point where Murr has it. Carabas tipped away on a pass tended down for Bolson. Murr gets there first to hold. Moravec, Carabas. Kinski breaks into the play. Wilson back to the point for Bolson. Just fires it into the zone. And it's cleared down by the Wildcats, and Murr is there. Played ahead for Gallagher. Eddie's ready to get back onto the ice, so Mavericks don't do much with the power play, but 2 more minutes is gone off the clock, and Carabas elects to hold on to possession, and Eddie is out of the box, so we're back to 5-on-5 hockey as Wilson has it. Wilson just drives it deep to the far side. Hillman gets there first ahead of Eddie.
Not much risk being taken by the Mavs, of course, right? Pucks are getting deep, lots of quick changes. Nobody's exposing themselves.
Doesn't look necessarily fancy, but it's really effective at this point of the contest, given what's on the line. Michael Van Unen ahead now for Kavanaugh. Kavanaugh unable to hold on to the puck as Bellini has it, sweeps it to the near corner. Power ahead for Hillman. Haskins and Hillman, they're just looking to gain possession and dump it in, which they do. Down now to 5.5 left. Breakout pass gets past Kavanaugh, and this will be an icing call against the Wildcats.
If I can jump in with one more out-of-town score.
Yeah.
We got Chanhassen 1-0 over Edina right now with about 4 minutes left to go in the second.
All right.
Yep.
Or from the AA championship at the XL Center.
A couple Maverick recruits in that lineup too
Yeah.
for Chan, and they've had a great weekend. So fun to see, and always great for the Maverick fans to be able to follow some of these young guys as they come up through the ranks.
I like that championship pedigree if they can finish that one off and bring it to the Mavericks. Kabanoff. Obi ends, left off for Van Union, but then he gets it up one more time in the corner. Wheeler's Kabanoff played between the circles, and a quick shot by Van Union, and then Tracy has to make a nice save. Gallagher just dumps one right back into the zone. Tracy slows it up and left off for Sykos. Sykos just lifts it out of the zone on a bouncing puck to the near side. Moravec will get there first, and he'll just sweep it. Well, tries to sweep it in, but then he lost an edge. Gontus is the other way. Left off. Here's a chance. Kluzinski does a great job to put it in a position, and Tracy has to make another nice save.
Great patience and hands by Slazinski there. I mean, the toe drag between the legs coming back across. You know, lucky that Tracy has just enough time to get over, put the pad in the way, keep this game a 3-goal.
Played over to the far side, and Murr unable to get it out on his first attempt, but gathers it up as he follows on the play. Ahead for Moravec. Riley Funk now tied up there with Zinger. Carries into the corner. Zinger with it. Top of the circle in the slot, and a kick save and a rebound given up, and then it's sent wide by Funk on the near side. There have been some close opportunities tonight for the Wildcats, and the number of near misses is going to come back and haunt them. Zinger kicked out. Rebound by Grohl, just driven off into the corner, and ends his back down to 3:30. At some point wondering if the Wildcats are, even though they're down by 3, but with the season on the line, do you pull Halas? Zinger at the goal line with Morton down there. Pop one more time, up on top, ends with a shot that's wide. Michael Van Unen to the far corner.
If I'm Patolny, I'm looking for our next offensive zone faceoff so you can go through those, right? The guys have to know that they're faceoff progression because they may use a timeout and not get another one, meaning that they need 3 goals.
Kabanoff, and Tracy comes out to cut down an angle on a backhand attempt as the play came into the zone. Gets past Pedersen. No icing on the play. We're down to 2:45 remaining. Just off pop. Played behind Tracy. Power gets there first. Isley helps it along the boards. And now the Mavericks with Isley left off for Wilson. They're 2-on-2 in the zone. Wilson gets knocked off the puck on the play by Kabanoff. Ryland Van Unen into the zone, gets past a couple of Mavericks. Tries to bring it out in front for an attempt. It gets dropped on the play, and now Bolson's quickly into the zone the other way. Isley can't get there first. Riley Funk will carry as Kranick is there to jostle with him into the zone, and it's played down offside with 2:03 left to go, and the Mavericks again holding on to a 4-1 lead. Morton with the lone goal, and that came so early, and that came right after that goal got pulled off, and you could just kind of tell at that point. We'll see if the Wildcats, yeah, they're going to go with their timeout, but obviously that kind of a momentum swing when you think you're down 3-2 in a goal and quickly you find yourself with a 3-goal deficit. I don't know that the Wildcats ever recovered from that one.
I don't think they have, and they've got a couple of good opportunities here late, more than I would like, but it's understandable in this type of context where backs against the wall, their season's over if they don't get these opportunities. But I mean, Tracy's been up to the challenge. He's had some great saves, great movement in the net tonight, coming side to side.
Well, that was that big save there off Eddie. I mean, Tracy, he's been a difference maker this weekend, no question about it. Stood tall. You can't really, the shorthanded goal he gave up tonight, tough early into the contest off a turnover right at the Mavericks defensive blue line, but time and again there through a lot of traffic, bouncing pucks, he's been able to control things and helped out defensively as well. I'm sure he'd be the first to credit his defense, but no question that Alex Tracy has been a big reason why the Mavericks are just 2:03 away from moving into the second round.
You know, and as we look back at those, you see a lot of them are kind of those tight jam plays where it's just a lot of hacking and whacking at the puck. He's taken a lot of sticks in the arms and the legs and whatnot, but he's held his ground and done an excellent job here for the Mavericks tonight to give them this 3-goal lead.
So the face-off is going to be in neutral ice, but Benny Alas is basically on top in the slot area, but at the top of the circle. So if the Wildcats win the draw, he'll quickly get off for the extra attacker. Hillman's out for the draw. Along the boards, no one really with control. It's played to the far side and then driven in, and Halas will come off for the extra attacker with about 2 minutes left. Kranick tries to play it to the far side. Here comes Haskins, but he will not win the race to the puck, although it's earmarked for out in front, and it just tipped. Kranick gave up the play, and Haskins couldn't get there the first time, but his momentum took him toward the net, and that's the easiest goal he'll ever find. Assist to Kranick, and the Mavericks will look to move on to round number 2. They're now up 5-1.
Yeah, and just slightly out of reach there for Zinger, but fun goal for Kranick, and Haskins just a little redirect right in front. A couple of buddies with some smiles afterwards, so congratulations to them.
Kranick will get the assist. Haskins his 4th of the season at 18-18. And the Mavericks moments away from moving on. Won't know their opponent yet tonight. They might end up going back to Bemidji if Lake Superior can come out with the win tomorrow night against St. Thomas, or the Mavericks might have to make the long trip to Michigan Tech. Lake Superior gets that win, they would have the upset seed, and they'd be the lowest seed to go to Bemidji then in that case. Wildcats, minute 15, and again the effort, they just did not get a lucky bounce at all tonight and had the tough decision. And again the Mavericks with Tracy in a great effort, one of his better weekends, back-to-back games in a while for this Maverick team. Gallagher, Stender. Lenz is back in his own zone. Marks Noren will carry it into the zone. Look for a screen down low. Tracy has another save. It's played to the far side as Bellini is tied up on the play. Last back in the nets, if you were wondering. Wilson is there. Wilson will carry to the line, left off for Carabas. Carabas with the shot, score! Traffic out in front of Halas, and obviously the intensity for the Wildcats no longer there either in the Mavericks. It'll go in the books maybe as a 6-1 game after this goal here by Carabas. It was not a 6-1 game by any means, but Carabas gets the goal following up from last night's play as well, through some traffic out in front.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. This did not have the feel of a 6-1 game. Both teams battled hard, a lot of physical play, and as we talked about, some really timely decisions on these overturned goals. And goals going the other way that just completely changed momentum for both teams.
Wait officially if it's Carabas. Yeah, it does get the goal, so his 9th of the season. Steinmetz and Wilson picking up the assist. Just a few seconds remaining as Kranick brings it into the zone. Halas kicks it aside, and it's the Mavericks tonight in what was a 3-1 game after 2 periods of play. Wildcats score early on a goal that eventually gets pulled off the boards on an offside call, and the Mavericks come back with 3 unanswered here in the 3rd, and they win the game tonight 6-1. They win the series 2-0. They will move on to the 2nd round next weekend, and with an opponent and a site yet to be determined. We're going to send it to a break, and when we come back, we'll have a chance to talk to not only Maverick head coach Luke Strand, we also hope to get Sam Morton as well to talk about this one tonight, the weekend victory as well. And again, the Mavericks, they win, they defeat the Wildcats 6-1, and they move on to next week's semifinals in the quest for the Mason Cup. Don Westfall back here in downtown Mankato. We are already set to hear from Maverick head coach Luke Strand. Let's send it over to Andy Hedlund.
Coach Strand, Andy Hedlund here. Hey, congratulations on your first playoff series win with the club. How big is that? How important is that to you to get that behind you?
Yeah, it was good for the guys here. I think after last weekend and the response and the mindset and the disappointment at the same time, the opportunity in front of us. So it was good for the guys.
What was your emphasis with the team after that first period? You guys came out that second period, felt like a brand new team.
Yeah, I might have tore a strip off some things. You know what? We just weren't doing it the right way. Our biggest promise to each other is we didn't want to have to redo things. And I felt after the first week, we were constantly having to redo things that we just weren't getting done the right way the first time. So great response on our guys' part.
That decision to look back at that offsides, I mean, that was a huge pivot in the game there where it could have gone either way. Something you guys saw live, or is that something you're pulling up on video quickly after?
Both. I think we had a feeling on live, but I know hats off to Tyson back there that he was right on and on top of it, which was great. And vice versa, we knew ours was offsides right away before Luch put his hands in the air.
Anybody you want to highlight tonight for performances on your squad?
You know, we're just proud of just a whole, like Sammy Morgan's got to get a big bonus. I mean, last night he's off the board, tonight he's on for 2 monster goals. You know what, I'll tell you, if we want to play together and play the right way and be a glue, it's an impressive group.
Yeah, absolutely. So going to this next one, how do you prepare differently for a 1-game series as opposed to this being a potential 3-game series you were just in?
Yeah, you know, it's going to give us something. We've got to. There's some guys here that are playing pretty wounded, to their credit. Hopefully get some healing, but at the same time, you know, there is no tomorrow in these scenarios. So now you got to be prepared. You got to be prepared for a lot of scenarios to pop up as far as lines and shuffling, who's going, who's not going, and we seem to be leaning towards this type of 12 up front and 7 on the back.
Yeah, great job. Hey, can't say congrats enough. Wonderful job this weekend, and I'm going to send over to Don. So thank you, Coach.
Heads, thanks for being down here, pal.
You got it.
All right, that's Maverick head coach Luke Strand. And as promised, looks like we're going to be able to get Sam Morton, who, of course, was the #1 star of the game. Couple goals tonight, his 23rd and 24th of the season. And boy, when you need your best players to show up, Sam Morton played big tonight. Both his first goal following up on his own rebound, and then that second goal beating the race off the boards and bringing it back between the circles. We are ready with Sam, so let's send it back over to Andy Hedlund.
Sam, Andy here. Hey, congratulations on the win. We were talking to both coaches on each side before the game, and they both said their best players had to be their best players. Take me through your goals. Both of them seem like you just completely outworked the other team. Take me through them.
Yeah, I think watching some things from last night, just trying to be a little faster and playing more downhill. So deliver pucks to the net when I get the chance and just stay on pucks and be tenacious.
Yeah, that's great. How special was it tonight with this win, with your decision to stick with this club? You know, as we all know, a bunch of guys left and went other places. You stuck around, you were a leader, you contributed in a big, big way this weekend. How special was that for you?
Couldn't ask for a better group. We're having a great time. You know, we got a lot more work to do. Trying to keep the emotions level, you know, not to get too high after this weekend, keep doing our jobs and just continue to be us.
I asked the same question to Coach Strand, and I'll ask you. How do you personally approach a 1-game series coming up here differently than you would have in this 3-game? Anything different mindset for you?
You know what? It's just another Friday night, really. Like, I think the game's on Saturday, but you just got to take it like a Friday. You're going into the first game of the weekend. You can leave it all on the line. There's nothing to save your energy for. But you know, you really got to dial it in. It's one game, anyone can win. So need to put our best foot forward and bring our best effort, our best execution, and hope for the best outcome.
Sam, fantastic game tonight. We appreciate your time. Go celebrate with your team, and I'm going to turn right back to Don.
Thanks,
you, Sam.
Appreciate it.
All right, that's Maverick Sentiments. Sam Morton again with 2 big goals tonight. He got the #1 star in the building. Let's see not only his goals, but all the highlights from tonight's contest. Here again, the Mavericks with the series win. And there's the turnover that Gontus was able to convert on. Shorthanded 4:08. It was 1-0 Northern. scored tonight early on by Gontus. So the Mavericks with the 6-1 win. Other scores, everything else is now final in the conference. A 4-0 shutout win tonight for the Beavers. They move on to the second round as the top seed. They might be playing the Lakers. They might end up getting the Mavericks. We'll have to see, because it was St. Thomas tonight with a 4-2 win over Lake Superior State. So that now series moves on to Game 3 tomorrow. And again, we've had the final for a while now. It was Michigan Tech, a 6-5 winner over Bowling Green. So the Huskies are through, the Beavers are through, Mavericks are in, and it's just a matter of tomorrow's game. Again, if the Mavericks if St. Thomas ends up winning, they would host a game, and then that would put the Mavericks on the road at Bemidji for the single-game semifinal next week. However, if Lake Superior State is able to have the upset over the Tommies, the Mavericks then would travel to number 3 seed Michigan Tech next weekend. Andy, it's been a fun one tonight.
It has. I first and last of the year, right?
Yeah.
I got in just under the radar, so I'm happy to be here. And excellent performance by the Mavs. Took them a little bit, as Luke said, as Coach Strand said. But once they got going and capitalized on those turnovers tonight, excellent performances by their top players.
That's the unfortunate thing, is unfortunately for us, this is probably our last broadcast of the season as well. It would take a Lake Superior State win tomorrow, and then both the Mavericks and Lake Superior State would have to go. And in that case, the Mavericks would host the championship game in a couple of weeks. But a lot yet to be determined. Everything in front of the Mavericks is the most important thing right now. They played one of their better weekends of hockey in a while here, and they sweep the Wildcats of Northern Michigan by a margin of 2-0 in the games. And again, tonight's final score, 6-1 Mavericks over Northern Michigan. For Andy Hedlund, the students from Bethany Lutheran College, I'm Don Westfall. We thank you for watching. Best of luck to our Mavericks next weekend.